We are live.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. My life has value.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Global Watchman News. My name is Lori Swan. Hope you guys are all doing well. Here in the live chat, we do ask to keep it family friendly. There will be moderators who are going to make sure that we stay within the terms of service put forth to us by the platform we're utilizing tonight. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Take a minute and hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell so you know we go live. If you're watching us over on one of our other podcast channels, we want to say welcome, and we want to say thank you for your continued support. So it's not Wednesday night. It is, I think it's Monday night, and but we're trying to get back on schedule, but there's just sometimes things come up that we just want to talk to you guys about, and it's been an interesting couple of weeks. But before we do that, I want to say hello to Ernie and of course Big John.
It's your old pal back again one more time.
Yeah, you can't say that. It's not yours.
John said I could.
Well, Ernie, Ernie can do. Ernie, I'm gonna put a beard on Ernie. I'm gonna get him one off Amazon.
I got a beard, fool.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Is it long like mine?
It was pretty long at one point.
Okay.
I chopped it off. I got that professional gig, so I gotta look halfway decent, you know.
Yeah. I just let mine get all, caveman or Viking or whatever you want to call it.
I keep mine trimmed up.
It's your old pal back again one more time. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
Shouldn't have left me.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff has been going on, guys, since the last time we talked. Lots of things. But we're gonna talk about a few things. things have been. John, did you hear about the anomaly that was on Ventuski, whatever you want to say? That anomaly?
Yeah, the Antarctica deal.
Yeah, I mean, you did hear about that.
Yeah, I thought there was another one or something.
She's back. This is from today, and I'm going to choose the date because as we go, I want you guys to take a notice of this. There's tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't think it's ever been this big before, has it, guys?
It is big as Africa.
What's the size? Like the waves are going to be?
The waves are right around 83.7.
Like, what is that going on?
Well, here's the thing: is so when it first happened, Ventusky came on and they said, it's a glitch in the system, and we were all like, yeah, right. And then it cooled, and now it's back again. So the thing of it is it's giving a false reading on the waves because ships in the area aren't reporting those waves. But here is what my theory is. I believe it has some sort of it's some sort of magnetic event, whether it is a large craft hovering above the ocean, giving them a false reading. It has to be something magnetic, giving a false reading. And the fact that it's coming from the same area every single time leads me to say that this is not a glitch. What do you guys think?
Girl, you know it's no glitch. I mean, look at all this stuff that's been going on weather-wise. I mean, we're witnessing something unprecedented going on in the plains right now as we speak. And for those who aren't aware, that they're under the highest risk of major tornadoes than they have been in years. And I'm currently observing Ryan Hall's broadcast while doing this broadcast, just trying to keep up because it's supposed to be popping off anytime now. And right now they're at 6 tornado warnings, or 7 right now. They just announced another one. And yeah, I mean, this stuff is bound to come. I mean, most High, talked about this throughout scripture. During the end times, you're going to see things like this, and we don't know what this is, but we know whose time it is. The time of the Lord is coming, and I mean, we gotta start praying hard, because they're covering this up. I mean, one time I can see it being a glitch, but twice now, and it's bigger than it was the previous time.
This is 3 times because there was one before that one that we found out about. There was one before that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, John, what do you think?
I'll have to find an article about like a mothership, basically, that was talked about, because that Stevensville UFO pretty much was like 5 miles wide.
Right.
The guy that's basically the one that they harassed the most, which means like the like a colonel from the Air Force went to his farmhouse and told him to shut up, basically. But the last thing that guy ever told anybody in an interview was when he saw that UFO on his property. He was hunting, and he said that he looked up, he pointed the rifle at the UFO, not to shoot at it, but used the scope to get a closer view. And he described that there were no rivets, there were no kind of connections, And he also said they had 2 praying mantises in the window of that ship. And of course, the praying mantis entities go back to Navajo legends, and even a lot of native tribes that talk about praying mantis entities. And but anyhow, so that ship was that big, and then there's been articles of people describing motherships, but for it to be in the water, okay, so say the water is like the real entrance to the earth, it's not space, it's underneath us. And
Right.
they that thing, because aren't the waves measured by like buoys or any kind of like predictive whatever they got in the ocean that's going to measure, hey, it's swaying, so it must be this or whatever it does.
Right.
But that anomaly always comes from Antarctica, and it's like everything's getting close, whether that thing's an actual continent or an ice wall, or perhaps the entrance to this part of the earth, and there really are other land masses after it. But for it to enter there, does anybody remember the hole in the ozone layer? Was that really a hole, or was that an entrance they didn't want you to know about?
Mm-hmm.
It was above Antarctica, wasn't it? The hole in the ozone they talked about for 10 years straight back in the 90s.
I don't remember. I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember where it was.
It was over in Antarctica.
Yeah, it was in the southern hemisphere. I know that.
Yeah, and they talked about it, but then there's like, well, how come if the sun's rays are getting in, how come this place is a barren winter wonderland?
Right. Well, I mean, there's obviously something going on, and the thing of it is we have a friend of ours. He is stationed in. God, I always forget. It's the American base in Antarctica. U.S. base. I know it when I hear it. It is McMurdo. So he's stationed in McMurdo Station, and he's down there 6 months out of the year. And unfortunately, I've tried asking him what's going on down there, and he gives that little chuckle, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's not military. He's actually a civilian that works there. But I think he's signed an NDA, and he couldn't tell me if he did know anything. But anyways, so he just left McMurdo. Took him a month to get off there because of weather and stuff. But I asked him if he knew about this, and all he said to me is, we're aware. That was it. So they know about it too.
Well, the talk of UAPs now, these underwater phenomenons or whatever, like unidentified underwater UFOs, right? They're starting to make more of a catch, because they say these things are more interesting than the stuff in the air.
Yep.
And like I said, there's no telling what size it could be underneath the water. And then the bases, and like Coronado Island off of California, they see different color orbs flying out of that water and ships coming out of that water all the time. And it's just never, people who live there talk about it, but it never makes any kind of media. You can hear it on podcasts maybe. It reminds me of like when they fly the TR-3B in New Mexico and West Texas, because you got every oil field worker talking about this thing. Oh yeah, we were barbecuing. Oh, you mean the Triangle spaceship? It's just like everybody knows about it, but nobody that could spread the word fast, cares to, that's going to be the news, in other words.
Right.
So something like that, like everybody knows about it, but everybody's like, oh yeah, well, yeah, it's on orbit fly out, but it is what it is.
What's crazy about this is it always starts out with that flat bottom.
Yeah. I mean, look at the shape of it.
Yeah, I don't know. but it's back, and it looks like it's going to be till Thursday at least. Looking at it.
Yeah, because I wonder why is it
Oh,
targeting the Africa continent?
Friday. Oops, excuse me. Oh, Saturday. Oh, I guess it's going to be up until Saturday.
I mean, I find that very interesting.
I find the straight lines interesting. The vertical lines.
And it looks like a signal of some sort.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
You know, if the Nazis had aircraft carrier-sized U-boats, they only had 5 of them, but you know that was in 45 or 46. So, and Lord knows what demon technology they got. Who's to say they haven't built that or that was already here, whatever. So something moves in the ocean. It just everything's coming together now. It's like everything's on the table.
Oh yeah,
Well, yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, we've been watching them hitting the United States with, like I said, the next rad frequencies. We've been in the storms that have been coming up. So I mean, this isn't something new, and there is the mobile HARP platform that they can move around. So I mean, who's to say that they haven't moved it down near Antarctica?
No doubt. I mean, who's now? Have y'all seen the first pictures of the dairy workers at that farm that have caught avian flu?
No.
Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on to where that they won't. You don't want to go see the pictures of these workers who they're bleeding from their eyes because Ebola is now in the avian flu that goes from chickens to cows to humans.
Interesting.
It's interesting because we talked about Ebola being in the thing we're not supposed to talk about.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, yeah, because that was the next thing they were going to do, and now these dairy farm workers are bleeding from their eyes, and Daily Mail finally posted pictures of the workers, and they're getting it's coming from the milk because the cows they want to get rid of protein, so it's a front war. Get rid of the beef, get rid of the protein, get rid of the milk, get rid of people, and now they have a virus that jumps from mammals to human. So
I did just find that. Let me pull that up for us. Gruesome first photo of Texas dairy farm worker who caught bird flu from a cow shows how he suffered bleeding in his eyeballs.
Yeah, last time I checked, flu don't cause that.
No, it doesn't. That looks like Marburg.
Yeah, it's got they have to have something that's going to take off that's going to really COVID didn't scare nobody. So this is going to make people obey.
Oh. Funny you should say
that. Sad times we're living in.
Right.
I mean, tuberculosis is breaking out in California. Literally a third world disease.
Tuberculosis is here in Chicago.
I believe it. It's you open the borders wide up and you spray these people in the Darien Gap with your little Bill Gates bioweapon, and I mean, this is this is easily the best disintegration warfare ever fought against the country.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a war that
everybody knows about.
You
think the Japanese? You think the Japanese didn't perfect everything at that Unit 237 back in World War II with all them biological weapons? We brought that clown over here to build shit. And now, I mean, it's Bill Gates and Soros and everybody just, oh yeah, they tell you you're going to be angry and you're not going to recognize the world anymore, especially the United States. And then I know, I'll tell you this is my personal thing that I know. When you start seeing everybody all of a sudden all over TikTok or wherever claiming that Jesus is now some, really an Egyptian demigod that learned, the chakras and the healing and the spoken words from humans, and they're downplaying him. That's how I know that it's coming.
Well,
Because
if
gotta warm me up.
If it keeps going the way it is, we won't have TikTok around. And I think TikTok is a two-edged sword.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, it goes along with America.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Egyptian mystery religions, foundings of this country. Yeah, they had to stay in the dark under the disguise of us. So yeah, we get freedoms and we get this fun stuff and maybe a national anthem and get to go to Walmart and get to have a picnic or do what you want, right? But underneath the icing of the delicious cake is how they have set us up for this. Because now everything's coming on the surface. Like, well, we've allowed you, we've been in the dark under the disguise of you.
Right.
And now it's time for the phoenix to rise. I think
they're spreading the false light.
100%. Yeah, it's disintegration warfare. It's just what they have to do to fulfill, the rising phoenix. I mean, fun's over, but it's like that. But they had to allow it to happen, and that's that was even Babylon in the days of Ishtar, and then even during Nebuchadnezzar. It was fun times until it wasn't.
It's funny you should bring this up, because the reason why I wanted to do this show tonight was because somebody had tagged me on Facebook in a movie that I had forgotten about. I believe I watched it back in the day. Let me pull it up. And I'm gonna play the trailer real quick.
The reason I'm here today is to encourage the U.S. Congress to take action to protect our country from its most imminent threat. Electricity would cease, the internet would go down, and the banking system.
The smokescreen of national security used by government at every level.
A strong America is the only thing standing in the way. Country only needs a little chaos.
We have a fog that has descended on our entire nation.
Hello, Mr. President. Now is the time.
The average American family only has 3 days of food.
We need to talk face to face. This is important.
Sir, what's the mission? Disarm the population and restore order.
Do you have any weapons inside your home or on your person? You have to give the president power to arrest any American by simply accusing them of terrorism.
The vanity of nationalism will quickly fade. These are but the birth pangs of a new world order.
I'm just so afraid of the world that you're going to have to grow up in.
This is a time, man, woman, young or old, when folks run and hide, or they pull up their bootstraps and they fight.
When you sell your soul, it's a one-time thing. There's no going back.
How many times have we said on here that when the time comes, they're going to use the food supply as a way to make us fall in line? I can't tell you how many times I've reiterated the same thing, the same scenario over and over again on here over the years of using the children. And there's I'm going to play a clip where he talks about the kids, and he talks about how the families, well, here, let's take a listen to this one.
Malcolm, you have a lot on your mind.
The sustainable population of our planet is no more than 500 million.
And we're willing to kill 7 billion.
Well, most of those lives aren't worth living. The mass of humanity in Africa, India, and China, they live in squalor. They'd be better off dead. The world would be better off without them.
And America will be first.
Yes, well, as our friend Henry Kissinger said, a strong America is the only thing standing in the way of a new world order. We have foreign troops on the ground now, under the UN banner. The country only needs a little chaos.
The American people are resilient. What's to come if the citizens rise up?
Yes, well, when parents see their children starving, and families hauled away to FEMA camps for imprisonment or worse, then yes, we expect some resistance at first. But the vanity of nationalism will quickly fade. The people will beg for help. Any help.
What's the old saying? Control the food, control the people.
Oh yeah, easily. I mean, and you're already seeing it. Been seeing it with all this destruction of different processing. Now the egg thing, and then the chicken plants. Now their chickens are got viruses going to the cows, and then the cows, they put lawsuits on the beef packaging plants. For the cows for climate change. I mean, it's all over the place, and it's just people are just going along, business as usual. But it's they're waging a war on it because get rid of protein. That's the only way you can defeat people. Really, is you take away their protein.
When you take away protein, that is an amino acid. That's a building block. You need protein to keep energy and to have that factory, your fuel factory.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing: is if you take away the protein, eventually your brain will start eating itself.
Well, here's the thing. They're not going to take away the protein. They're going to, quote unquote, replace the protein.
Right.
Well, they are with the lab grown meats and stuff.
And bugs. Don't forget the bugs.
Yeah, bugs, and make you, eat feces, they even say. I mean, it's a demonically inspired thing to do that, to a country, and then they sit back and say, oh, you eat bugs and be happy. These people who I don't know how they all look alike, bald headed, big ears, mostly foreign. It's just like, how these people, it's very, I hate to be like totally mean because it's not that time for that, but I'm gonna tell you, I wouldn't want to be them if they think they're going to come over here and step foot and not be in their bunker, because wow, I just can't imagine being them when somebody gets into their bunker, is all I'm saying.
Right. I want to just put out a disclaimer. We don't when I say promote. We don't promote Alex Jones. But I'm going to say something. Yes, the man is a gatekeeper, and yes, he has controlled opposition, COINTELPRO. But I'm going to tell you, if you're honest with yourself, everybody watching and listening right now, we all cut our teeth on Alex Jones. We all started out with Alex Jones. And you just get to a point where he just doesn't give you any more information, and he's a gatekeeper. But bottom line is he's in the know. He's in the know because he's in with them. And you can't tell me he's not, because his flagship station, if you look to see who owns them, it's the people that he refuses to talk about. So I just want to put that disclaimer out there. Yes, I know the movie is by Alex Jones. And yes, I do know that he's a gatekeeper. The bottom line is the information that he's putting out in that movie is pretty accurate.
No, here's the thing. Okay, now about the movie. The movie is by Gary Haven. He was the founder of Curves for Women, the exercise place.
Oh.
The actual producer is Chuck Norris's son. He's the one who filmed that movie.
I did see something about Chuck Norris.
I knew all about AMERIGEDDON when it came out. Yeah, Gary Haven produced it. Alex Jones just sold it. Gary Haven, who has been on different shows, he's the founder of Curves, the workout place.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire. So anyhow, he did that, and then Chuck Norris's son filmed that movie. At the premiere, Chuck Norris's son was poisoned at the theater and almost died for making that movie. They told Chuck Norris's son that movie is not going to be produced, just like they told, of course, poor Crowley figured it out for the Gray State. But they told Chuck Norris's son that's okay, that's fine, but it's not going to be produced. And he did anyways, had it all ready to go on DVD, and they poisoned him at the premiere.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was little known. That was barely a day in the news. But they blew some powder on him. They got him with an aerosol at the premiere. They even arrested the guy that did it.
Oh, wow. I'm going to actually, because you brought up the Gray State, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the trailer for the Gray State.
Sit right
Last night I dreamt about how things were.
Of every enemy of the state!
And then I woke up here.
That was a movie that was written and filmed by a man named David Crowley, who was found at Christmas time in 2015. Well, Christmas of 2014. They found him in the early weeks of 2015. His daughter, his wife, and him were murdered. I've gone back and forth on whether or not I believe the official story on it, but I'm going to say on the record, they were murdered for that movie. It was not the way that the police say it happened.
Yeah, I've always leaned towards that myself. I mean, obviously, we talked about it ad nauseum in the past about this movie that was going to be made. I wish somebody would pick it up and finish it.
Yeah.
But I know the risk associated with finishing this type of movie. I mean, obviously, you talked about just some of the things that director faced when he created AMERIGEDDON.
Yeah.
They just don't want you to, it's supposed to be a surprise when you wake up, whether you have parachutes falling or the stock market crashed or you just, wake up with military everywhere or whatever, it just, they want that to be a total chaos.
Well, did you catch the guy when he said there's foreign troops here now?
Oh, definitely.
We've been saying that, and we've been telling people that for years now, John.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. All these people coming across that it's fifth column forces. I hate to tell everybody, and I get, it's fun to get your little Orphan Annie decoder ring and figure out the Q stuff, but they're making everybody do that. Okay, kids, Donald Trump's next message is get your rings ready. D15, right. You know what I mean? It's just while the armies pour in. They're not white hats. These Venezuelans, these Iranians, these Central American MS-13, these Chinese, they're not here to arrest pedophiles. That's not going to happen. I'm telling you. While you wait on that, you're going to have a bunch of Venezuelan mercenaries kicking in your door by that time, and they're going to be taking your wife and kids outside and doing very atrocious things. And I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be a happy ending. No white hats, no Donald Trump,
right?
No Guantanamo Bay. It's just going to be a lot of screaming and raping going on. Is all I'm telling. That's why I tell people. Just get ready.
I'm still shocked at the number of people that still are buying into the QBS.
That QBS, it's little Orphan Annie. They're ready for I'm telling you, they're ready for the next code. It's such crap. And people think, but how can it? You can make things. How does Laffy Taffy put jokes on their rappers on every one? And there's a million of them.
Yeah.
You can coordinate any kind of numbers to match this. I mean, people think, oh well, these were written, or were they? Were they written in 2017? These little Reddit codes or whatever they show, it's like you're just matching cereal box stuff.
Right. Exactly. And
it's not going to happen.
Crazy because it's like, I always say it doesn't matter who's driving the bus, the destination is the same.
100%.
You may take a different route. Ernie and I could set out from Chicago to Texas, and he may take one route and I may take another, but the destination is the same. And that's the way it is with who's driving the U.S. bus, who's driving, the government at the time. The Democrats have a way and the Republicans have a way. It doesn't matter. It's still ultimately going to lead us to this new world order. Now, guys, I want to just put out there, because there's people out there that mock people like us that warn about this. We are not saying that anything we can do can stop it. You might as well stand on a train track, put your arms out, and expect to stop a speeding train. It's not possible. We're not trying to stop it. There's nothing we can do to stop it, but we can warn people that it's coming. And that's what we do. We warn.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those who are blood washed and bought with the blood of Jesus Christ, they know to be watchmen. We're supposed to go out and preach the gospel, and part of preaching the gospel is preaching the entire word of the Bible, and part of that is telling people about what it's going to look like in the end. Get these questions quite a bit, like, oh, what is so and so going to be through this? What if so and so going to be the savior of all of the world? What is so and so going to become president?
Yeah.
That's not going to happen, guys. You know, the Bible has everything set in place for the end. And no matter who is in office, the demise of this country as well as the world as we know it is coming to an end.
Right.
And if you can't grasp that, you're going to be one of the very first people to be in line to accept the mark of the beast when it comes into play, because you won't have any other choice but to, because you have that feeling that, okay, I can't buy anything, I can't eat, I can't support my family. What am I going to do?
Well, that's what they're depending on. That's what they want. That's the
Exactly.
ultimate. That's what they want, because that's when you'll reach out, and as soon as the bus or whatever it is, the whatever comes into your neighborhood and offers. Look, I've said it before. Nothing's going to be more of a powerful motivator than seeing your child starving to death and knowing that all you've got to do is get on the bus and they will feed your child. That is going to be a huge motivator.
Well, you got to look at it like this too. Just think about the welfare system, for instance. What was that established to do? I mean, this was something that was started during the Roman era. Am I correct? It was designed to get the people dependent on the government.
Right.
And by having that dependency on the government, they're easily controlled and manipulated.
Correct.
Look what's going on right now. It was conditioning humanity to be able to accept the rise of the Antichrist.
Easily. And the thing is about, I have never said any time anywhere about the end of the world. I don't know when Jesus is coming back. I have no idea. I've never said that. I talk about the collapsed United States, but it's always been the Babylonian blindness, because people here in this country are just living on a level of America.
Yeah.
Like what? Okay, so well, and the whole like hypothesis that I get from people's attitudes is, when Jesus does come across the sky, he's going to be doing thumbs up and winking at the North American continent. Like, okay, y'all are good. Wink, wink. Continue on your Snapchat journeys. Your streaks. It's like America is made up. It's Babylon. It's a group of people that made it a long time ago, through Egyptian Masonic mystery religion schools. It's just we're the little projects. All we are.
Right.
And now they're delivering their sermons about Egyptian gods, Anunnaki, and now that's the thing. They're saying Anunnaki or Egyptians. I've always said that, and it's like now they're saying, well, Jesus has made up everybody, so don't worry about him, and it's like, it's just all like America, it's like, it's not real. The whole thing about I'm sorry to say it, people get mad, but it's like the whole wedding and the exchanging of rings, that's not real. That's Babylonian stuff. Nobody else does that. That's Western, that the word westernized, that's where that comes from. Marrying a man and a woman with a ring, that means transgenderism. That's what it really means. That's why Brittany Griner has an Ishtar tattoo on his and her chest, because they have fulfilled the worship of Ishtar with the ring of Saturn. And so I'm like, everybody's excited about dancing and drinking champagne. And it's like, no, that's made up stuff. People needed a business to make money, so you have wedding planners. That's not real. That's American crap. But everything here it's just all made up.
But it's no different than everything else, because everything that God has given us, our God-given rights, the government has stolen and sold back to us. No different than your wedding. You have to go get a marriage license.
100%. Yeah, everything's a system already built,
right?
And it's already set. If you want a man or a woman, you got to be yoked with them. That's what Jesus said. Yoked, not hey,
not unequally yoked.
Yeah, exactly. Date a little bit, get a ring for it. That's all made up stuff. Whatever. I don't care what anybody said. Made up.
Well, the guy in the movie, he even said that, and we've said this straight along, because we know that the United States was built on by Sir Francis Bacon's ideal.
Atlantean. And
the guy in the movie even said, that the only thing standing between the rise of the New World Order is a strong United States. And we've been saying that all along, that the United States has to fall. I think Tom Horn, way back in the early 2000s, was talking about that, the fact that the only thing standing in the way right now is the United States.
It is, because they built it up underneath our feet, and we've had too much freedom. But now that's the thing. They knew they were going to have to deal with that. Manly P. Hall talks about that in The Secret Destiny of America. And the thing is, all these guys are gone now. Thomas Horn, we all know, did the most research and knew the most about the real, that's the United States. And now he's gone. And even David Flynn, who I swear they copy his work on TikTok, and it pisses me off something awful, because David Flynn was the only one in 1995 to have his own website when the internet was a bunch of weird stuff to people. And he already explained about Amarahuka. He already knew about that. And you ought to hear him on here. Billy Carson, all the Masons, the Watchers, the Nephilim, Anunnaki, blah, blah, blah. And they just spew. They killed David.
Billy Carson's getting to be pretty big for his britches lately.
Oh my gosh. That Mr. Gray Alien in my living room, and he cried about it. I'm like, dude, okay.
Right, I saw that one. Oh my gosh.
Like, wow, Billy, a gray alien, of all the entities that really exist, you're crying because a gray alien was in your living room? Oh, okay.
I saw that interview, and I just shook my head.
Get out of here, bud.
You gotta be kidding me. It's because all of these guys that have told us these things or gave us these warnings aren't with us anymore. You got Cooper, you got Schneider, you've got Tom Horn's gone.
Putnam's gone, Russ Disdar's gone, Rob Skilba's gone, Missler is gone.
Yeah.
I mean,
we got
L.A.
Missoula,
bless his soul, is like the last one.
Yeah,
so we got L.A. LA's like the last one.
And we got Zen Garcia, but other than that, those guys are.
Alberino, I forgot about Timothy Alberino. He's kind of laying low, but Tim's left. He's left. But I mean, just a lot of all the guys that these guys, just word vomit behind.
Right.
And the ones that here's the funny thing: all the guys that the History Channel wanted to scam and wanted them to change their stories and wanted them to have a directive if they put them on their shows are all gone now.
Yeah.
And I mean, let me tell you, if the History Channel has to come to you behind closed doors and say, look, we'll give you $1 million, just say this, don't say about that, we'll give you a show, then that's the ones that know what the hell they're talking about.
Right. I wanted to ask you guys, speaking of the United States, does anybody, and I'm going to ask, this is both John, Ernie, and for everybody in chat, it is 2024. It's an election year. Does anybody notice anything strange about this election cycle? What are we not seeing?
Debates.
We're not seeing commercials.
Right.
It's almost like they don't even have to advertise it because it's like they already know.
Yeah. The planes to Guantanamo Bay are waiting.
No commercials, no debate, no yard signs. Exactly. No yard signs.
Do we even know who is the Republican candidate? Because all we hear about is Orange Man.
Okay.
We don't hear about nobody else.
Here's the theory that I've heard. I've heard that who's the guy from Florida?
DeSantis.
I heard DeSantis is going to get the nomination. He's going to choose because so I guess the way the law is written, that if Trump gets if all these charges stick or whatever, I don't know. But if they do, he won't be able to run for president. But there's nothing to say that he can't be vice president. So DeSantis gets the nomination. He chooses Trump to be his running mate. When he gets elected, he pardons Trump and then steps aside and Trump takes over. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I don't pay attention to the election because my literal thinking is everybody in this country right now are literally Texans at the Alamo, and nobody's looked over the wall yet.
Okay.
Everybody's having fun in the cantina. Davey's dancing, playing the violin, whatever he's doing, and everybody's paying attention. Nobody's looked over the wall yet, and there are fifth column forces arriving daily. Cannons arriving daily. That's what's going on, in my opinion. All this election stuff, all this kangaroo court, whether it's real or not. Trump's a green screen. Trump's really not in court. That's not him. I don't know. The thing is, what I do know is I'm over that wall looking at all the units arriving.
Right.
That's all I'm paying attention to. So I don't even really know. I haven't.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that we're not seeing the debates? We're not seeing the signs? We're not seeing any of these things that we normally see in an election year because something's going to happen that we're not even going to have an election?
Most likely. That's been the
Yeah.
plan, because they have to enact martial law here. They have to get that somehow enacted because
They're
it
gonna have
only
that
helps
Swan
them.
event.
It only helps in that any kind of and they can do anything really they wanted to, how small it could be to actually get continuity of government. But they have to have that. And the funny thing is, are they doing it because no stuff on like you just said, no election or no debates, whatever? Are they doing it to just show that they can get away with it, or are they just not worried
Just
about
not
it
even hiding it anymore.
and letting it ride? Like, okay,
Yeah.
well, nobody's saying nothing, so we'll keep pissing on their feet.
We're gonna have that Black Swan event this year, anyways.
Right. I believe so too.
And a Black Swan event could be almost anything now. It could be the smallest of things because people lose their damn minds about
Right.
almost nothing. Everything's been a beta test, include the toilet paper. You actually made people buy toilet paper. Like,
right.
Isn't that weird? Like, nobody got any kind of like food or water. They got toilet paper.
Right.
It kind of says a lot about, people, born born tacticians who sit back and say, how am I going to take this area over? These great generals and, tacticians are like, how am I do this? And they're like, are you kidding me? We got them to buy toilet paper and make it sold out. Wow, this is going to be easy.
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna take this off the screen out. I was gonna go in that direction, but I'm gonna type, John, I'm gonna mute you for just a second. I'm getting feedback. I'm gonna put something out there because there's been a few times that I've come live talking to you guys about the, what is it called? Sorry, give me a second. The where the line of, not the line of command, but the for goods, for freight and for goods. I can't remember what it's called. Do you remember what I'm trying to say, John? You know what I'm trying to say? The supply chain. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm tired and it's been a rough day. Okay, so I've come live a lot of times and I've talked to you guys about the supply chain. And I've told you guys that if there ever was a time that we should worry about, that I would come on here and I would tell you, because we as our company, my husband and I, we use what's that? Okay. Thanks, John. Just unmute. You unmute yourself when you want to talk. There we go. Okay, so for the supply chain, so we use what is called the boards, and we have brokers, and we're on the open market. And so I always said, I know, I'm sorry, KS. It's been a rough day today. We are on the open market, and so we use programs that we pull our freight off of. Okay, so I always said that I would come on here and I would give you guys a warning, and I think it's time that I give you guys that warning, and I'm going to tell you why. Because for the last 2 months, almost 3 months now, my husband's schedule is usually it's the same. He does 2 turns to Jersey every week. He will get loaded on Friday. He'll be home Saturday. He'll leave out Sunday. He'll deliver in the East Coast on Monday, load, come back on Tuesday, reload, leave out on Wednesday. Then he'll be back on Friday. That's how it works. So 2 loads. He loads and unloads, loads and unloads. For the past almost 3 months, there has been 0 freight on the board for him to grab coming out of Chicago, going literally anywhere, let alone where we normally go. Friday mornings, it used to be that we could put in our parameters, and the parameters would be Chicago, 100-mile radius, to, I don't know, let's say the Port of Wilmington, 100-mile radius. And we could pull up between 300 and 500 different loads that we could pick from. For the past 2.5, almost 3 months on Fridays, he's done that parameter search, and the most has been 4 loads pulling up. My husband has stayed home on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, fought to get a load going to Jersey on Tuesday to deliver on Thursday and come back, and then sit again from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So I've never seen the supply chain as broken as it is right now. I don't know who's moving the freight, but the open spot market is dying, and it's dying quick.
AMERIGEDDON is at hand, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and I'm not the only one seeing this. We are members in a lot of Facebook groups that are just for truckers. And just last week, I mean, there was post after post after post of guys being like, I'm dead in the water. I'm in Wisconsin. Anybody got any freight going anywhere? There was a guy in Pennsylvania, same thing. He was stuck at a truck stop. He's like, I might have to go home empty. The amount of money that it takes to go home empty it can put a small business out of work. It can put you under. I mean, if that's, you know, it's scary, guys. It is very scary right now.
When goods don't cross borders, armies do.
Oh, John. Repeat that.
When goods don't cross borders, armies do. That was by Karl Gottfried Philipp von Clausewitz, 1815.
That's some pretty powerful words right there.
Well, I guess all we have to do right now is wait for those people to be activated.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, that's all there is left right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe they have enough here to start. They're just waiting for the go-ahead.
Oh, they got plenty to start easily. I mean, take over small towns in no time. And if they can stop movements between the states, you know, take over interstates, basically what they need. If they can stop movement within the United States, no aircraft, no cars, make everybody stay where they're at and cause enough trouble to subdue you to your locality, that is a pretty big win.
You know what, John? That leads me to this question. Do you think with all this stuff's going on with the airline companies right now, it's a deliberate plan to ground us?
100%. They're taking away key areas. People think, oh, well, they don't get a lot of business over there. No, they're taking away from different airports routes for different airlines. And they're
And
probably
you
going to start
notice all these
consolidating
planes are
airlines.
having issues right now too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Boeing. I mean, Boeing's on the story. Boeing is a CIA front, and they just don't want the whistleblowers to basically open the doors to where all that quality control money goes that inspects these aircrafts, because quality control, like on the assembly line, that's probably your most money and the most you can hide it. You can make the money because, quality control, of course, sales is next. After that, once it leaves, somebody buys it. But you can also you can launder money through the quality control. And that's why these whistleblowers are starting to kind of, disappear and get sick and die.
To push the electric cars so you can't travel far.
Exactly, yeah.
They're messing up the
those are
airlines.
trashy.
Yeah.
They don't want you
messing
far
with
from your
the
area.
airlines so you can't fly.
Right.
You got
They're
people coming
pushing
in from the north and the south. We got shipping containers off the coast that contain valuable goods for our country. And we have a leader who doesn't know the difference between his butthole and the hole in the ground. It's a recipe for disaster.
I can't believe they're actually running him again. I can't believe that he's the best the Democrats can come up with.
Well, that's the thing, though. They don't care. They already know what's coming, so they can run a ham sandwich if they want to. It doesn't matter.
Right.
They know what they're going to do and what's coming, so they're not going to waste time. And the thing is, they're laughing at everybody. I mean, it's like I said, it's a clown show. They know it. The opposition knows it, whether the Republicans are with them or not. But the American people know it. Like, they're like, why are they doing this? But nobody, like I said, everybody's inside the Alamo listening to Davey play the violin. They're not looking over that wall. And then when they do, you're going to have 20, 30,000 Mexican troops come across that damn wall.
Not just Mexicans.
Well,
see,
I'm
what they're
sick about the
doing
Alamo.
is they're brainwashing us through division. They're having us fighting amongst ourselves through like different fronts. I mean, we got the stuff that's going on in the Middle East that's causing division in the United States. We got the race wars that's been going on for a few years here. We got the different movements and different factions rising up and going after each other. Doing all that by design so they can come in and bring external forces to seize control over our country right now. And we've talked about having UN troops on our soil right now. They already brought over their vehicles.
Yeah, well,
you can almost guarantee they're here on our land.
Charles Manson talked about helter skelter. That was a race war. He knew the whole time because he was CIA, and he talked about it.
Right.
And then now, oh no, he's crazy. No, he's not. He just knew what was going on. They told you he was crazy, so you wouldn't believe him.
Exactly.
I'm not saying he wasn't like mental, obviously, because it was mental, but he knew what they were doing. Like he told the plan to everybody. Nobody writes songs for the Beach Boys and don't know what, you know what I mean? Like, come on now, that guy wrote songs with the Beach Boys. And
it all goes back to Tavistock and that the mind control and all of that.
Yeah, the guy knew what was going on.
I think a lot of people have forgotten about this little remembered Obama signed the indefinite detention bill, the NDAA that was signed that says that basically, I'm going to pull up exactly what it says. Give me a second here. Right here, National Defense Authority. I can't even talk.
Authorization
Act gives the U.S. military the power to indefinitely detain Americans without charge or trial, including until the end of the hostilities. Indefinite detention is when a national government or law enforcement agency incarcerates someone for an indefinite amount of time without a trial. Until the end of hostilities. That could be a long time, guys, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
we look at that. We look at CISPA. We look at the NDAA. Look at the Patriot Act. They're all one umbrella to bring America into tyranny.
And now that, we've got the list for the FBI for domestic terrorists, Christians now, guys, let's talk a little bit about this new law that could possibly be going into effect that's going to make parts of the New Testament illegal.
Oh yeah. I was going to bring that up.
So we're not going to be allowed to tell the truth about who crucified our Messiah without being labeled an extremist.
Well, that's just the beginning. It's all a part of the beast system.
Oh,
Who do
yeah,
you think their
easily.
Messiah is?
Easily.
Who do you think the Dajjal is?
It's like in play, easily in play to get rid of the Bible, outlaw the Bible, make everybody go underground, guillotines for the Christians. I mean, same old scenario.
I believe the two other major books in the world, the Torah and the one that people in the Middle East look towards for guidance. As Viken said, yeah, I brought that up as soon as I seen this.
Yep.
Noahide laws.
Let's not forget what the Noahide says. Noahide laws, the 7 Noahide laws, they look good on paper until you dig into and you find out the Noahide laws come from the Talmud. And they say the number one is no idol worship. The problem with that, and you know what, that's great, because that's our first commandment as well. You shall have no other gods before me. That is, that's good. Until you look at the Talmud, where these Noahide laws come from. They don't come from Christianity. They come from the Talmud. And what they say is that your belief in Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, whatever you prefer to call him, if your belief in that is considered idol worship, and it is punishable by death, by guillotine. It specifically says that in the Noahide laws. It's coming, guys.
And the Noahide laws runs off the Talmud, which coincides with another major book that I don't know we can mention here on YouTube anymore. If you know what I mean. It begins with the letter that we can't say on YouTube.
Okay. I'm going to do this. I'm going to not say it. I'm going to put it on the screen.
That's correct. Bingo. If you can't worship their God, what happens?
If you don't convert, death.
Yeah.
And you know what's even scary is the fact that the things that are happening on our college campuses right now are setting the stage for that. They're setting the stage for Noahide, because it's going to come down to, you've got these two factions on the college campuses. You know darn well it's going to overflow into the cities come summertime. You know that's going to
Well, a lot of movements derives from college campuses.
They do.
And the reason why is indoctrination. Now, colleges are not educational institutions as the majority of society believes. They're indoctrination camps.
They are.
That people can freely go to and fro. You're brainwashed into believing what they want you to believe. And once you leave, you have a different outlook of society than you went in with. And the cycle repeats itself.
Have you seen some of the people they've arrested though during these protests? Like, I don't think that people are in college. Like, they look like they're 60 years old.
Well, have you seen the tents? They're all the same tents.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's obvious that, it's all being set up or paid for and bring in people to start trouble. I mean, it's just obvious, but nobody ever thinks about that because of the topic.
Well, back a couple of years ago, I think it was two, I don't know. I was running we had the disturbances here in Chicago, and there's it's an agency, it's a website, it's called heyjackass.com. It's run by Chicago police officers, and they also have a YouTube channel. And I got to be friends with these guys. And so when they would go live, I would run it, and they would be running the what am I say, the scanners. So we would hear what was going on between the police officers and dispatch. And at one time, they were talking about white buses that had taken off from Indiana, from Gary, Indiana, on their way to Chicago. They were 30 minutes out, which that's how far the distance is, from Gary to, where they were going, about 30 minutes. And they were following them in. We know darn well who paid for those buses. That was Soros funded, just like every other disturbance up in, remember Oregon when they had that little, I don't know, they cornered off those few blocks and said that they were setting up their own nation. That was all Soros funded.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, and that's just out in the open house. And then they had I saw somebody, he was at the Planned Parenthood gala or whatever it was. They had all the celebrities over there at the Planned Parenthood event, maybe last week or 2 weeks ago or something like that. And they showed him, he showed up over there. And then now we all, I don't know if Albert Pike, if that third letter was real or not, but I'm going to tell you, it makes a whole lot of sense what he wrote about the Third World War. Sure does look like he knew something about to me.
Wow. So much going on.
Get the Jews and the Christians and Muslims fight each other for World War III. That guy's pretty spot on.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys have not read Pike's through the 3 World Wars, I mean, here's the thing: is he was spot on for the First World War. He was spot on for the second. What is to make us think that he's going to be wrong on the third?
Well, he's on track.
He's on track. Yeah. Whether that's real or fake, it's sure does make a lot of sense when you look around nowadays.
Exactly.
Oh, people think he's some type of clairvoyant. No, this is what they planned. They're under the control of Lucifer himself. He's overseeing all this. I mean, they got a supernatural backing.
Right, supernatural backing.
And God is allowing it because he's going to come back and destroy them.
Yeah. Crazy. This is crazy times we're living in, guys. That's for sure.
Yeah.
What's going on with the weather right now?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Lori. I just want to tell you that things are increasing. We got about 14 severe thunderstorms and about 8 tornado warnings in the Midwest. Guys, we're facing an unprecedented event going on in the Midwest right now. They had almost 100% risk of strong tornadoes, which they haven't seen that in years. And it's just getting started. It's going to go throughout the night. And the problem is nocturnal tornadoes are able to be seen right now. And what you're watching right now is Ryan Hall. And if you haven't watched this guy, he's amazing. The people on his channel predicts tornadoes before it's even announced from National Weather Service.
These guys are good. They're spot on. They know exactly what they're doing. Let me get down here. So right now we have 15 severe thunderstorm warnings in effect and 6 tornado warnings.
Where's all that at? I can't really see. What states? What is that in?
Oklahoma.
Okay.
Let's take a listen.
Oklahoma here. That would be the reason why, and we'll have to do a mesoscale on that. So watch that one really closely with each new scan, Ryan.
All right, thank you so much. And production, keep an eye on Nick Smego. He's going to be pretty close to that storm soon, up here to the north and west of Tulsa. This is an incredibly concerning look to this storm here near Hominy. We've got a big time hook, and now the velocity signatures are just off the wall here. We've got a
new information.
Tornado
this
warning
tornado
now
warning
associated
has
with
been
this.
upgraded.
So it's official. This storm is putting down a tornado. It's on the ground right now. near Hominy.
Hey, Ryan, that tornado is going to be on the ground to my left here.
And it sounds like we are also getting ready to get that tornado on the ground as well, down there where Caleb Beecham is currently with the Canadian County storm. So all of the lightning flashes,
Look at
all
that map on the top right of his
on the bottom of your
screen.
screen, that's down there towards Calumet
pink
in
area,
Canadian County,
That's
Oklahoma.
almost a near perfect
However, we've
list
got a
of
pretty serious situation
very strong
unfolding up here
tornadoes.
between Hominy and Morgan's Corner to the north and west of Tulsa, as well as I think a strong tornado is coming together right now. Go ahead, Andy.
So sorry, Ryan, but there's a big debris ball east of Minden, Iowa. I'm being serious here. Minden, Iowa, a QLCS tornado unfortunately just touched down. I think east of the town, far enough to hopefully where previously affected areas were not affected, but thankfully that warning was out for that area. Small QLCS tornado that just did some damage there. Hopefully nobody got impacted, but Shelby, Iowa is very, very close to that. And then again, Harlan down the line from that. So hopefully it doesn't last that long, but that is confirmed doing damage, will be upgraded. And then after you relay that, then take a look at the debris ball on our Osage County storm.
Okay. So yeah, it does look like we had a tornado at least close to Minden, Iowa, not too long ago. Get ready in Shelby and Tennant and Harlan. Wow, unbelievable. This is the very familiar corridor to us. Get ready for that as this storm is going to continue to move off to the north and
They
east.
just got hit 2 weeks ago.
Hopefully, Minden was spared or was missed there for the most part, but now we've got to be concerned about the Shelby and Magill areas and Tennant in Iowa. Let's go back down to our storm to the north and west of Tulsa near Hominy. We also have a strong storm here. This is producing a debris ball as well. This is a tornado currently doing significant damage just east of Hominy. I think that
look at that hook.
right now it's already crossed over Highway 20. It's already crossed over the lake there, the Shattuck Lake, the Skiatook Lake. Sorry. Some of the next places in line here, I think, for potentially receiving some impacts from this storm is going to be places like the Drummond Ranch. Okay, if you know where that is, the Lone Spring School Historic
New information.
Site.
This tornado
and now that's going to
warning
be a
has been
PDS
upgraded.
tornado warning.
Okay, every time you see this, the warnings come out. When it goes to a warning, it means that one's usually on the ground or confirmed on the ground. So right now we have 17 severe thunderstorm warnings and 6 tornado warnings. So he's looking at 6 guys. If you're not watching, if you're not subscribed to Ryan Hall, y'all, you know what? This man has saved so many lives since he started this journey. I was with him. Well, you and I were with him back when he was just a TikToker.
Yep. And here's the thing. I wanted to go over something with you. He just announced there's a PDS tornado warning. For those of you who are unaware, a PDS tornado warning is a particularly dangerous situation. That means you're going to get a tornado that could potentially do at least F2 to S3 plus damage. It's one step below the highest warning they can issue, which is a tornado emergency. Typically speaking, those types of tornadoes can generate at least a half a mile to a mile wide plus, and it can cause considerable to catastrophic damage. So, and as I mentioned earlier, the fact that these are occurring at night where you can't see it, that makes things even more dangerous.
It does.
I want to say a quick prayer for those who are being affected right now, because obviously from the night's broadcast, we're facing some unprecedented times, and we just need spiritual guidance and strength to carry on through the storms that we're going to be facing, both physically and spiritually. So dear Heavenly Father, we come to you, Lord, with weary hearts, God. I know many of us have varying levels of weakness going on in our spirits right now, because there's so much going on all across our country, all across the world, even in our own lives, in our own backyards, we're just seeing just frustration and anger and hatred and natural disasters flowing, and things are on the increase with these diseases that's coming into animals and being transferred to humans. It just seems like the enemy is hard at work. They're trying to take our livelihoods from us, to separate us from you, God. That's why we come to you for strength, God. We come to you to rely on you because we cannot do this on our own, God. We can't go through what we're going to face by ourselves, God. We need you in our lives. We need your hedge of protection over us. We need your spiritual guidance on what we need to do and how we're going to need to react when the time comes, God. We're seeing these things transpire on a frequent basis, and things aren't letting up, God. And I know many of us are scared. I know many of us are weary. I know many of us is trying to give up, God. But you called on us to endure unto the end. You called on us to be your saints, to go out and preach the gospel, to spread the message, to share the word with your people, God, to warn them about what's to come. But God, sometimes this walking this path is difficult. These are the roads that are less traveled, God. And we need you to just guide us and protect us. And those people who are suffering right now, who faced those tornadoes a couple of weeks ago and are going through the same things tonight, God, I just pray that you lead them to safety, God. Pray for comfort. I pray for healing. I pray for strength and over Ryan Hall and those who are going through trying to warn these people on seeking shelter and where to go, because I know it's taking a toll on them, God. I just pray that you continue to minister and comfort them and continue to give them the motivation they need to carry out your calling, God, whether they believe it or not. God, we just come to you in just love. We come to you begging you to continue to do your work over all of us, God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Amen. Yeah, it's definitely going to be, the nighttime tornadoes, they scare me the most, because you can only see them when the lightning lights up the sky. So you don't know if they're in front of you, you don't know where they are. So yeah, it's quite dangerous. So all right, guys. Well, John, you stay safe.
Oh, I will, Lori.
Definitely. And there was one other thing that I sent you. Hold on. What did I sent you something this week.
About the was it the troops, the U.S. Special Forces or something like that?
U.S. Army urged to prepare for jungle
Oh,
warfare.
yeah.
What was your take on that? I mean, where?
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is if, I mean, not the entire South, but I would think that, maybe fighting in the Southeast United States, if you had to fight the American citizen, that's all I can think of. Because, I mean, Louisiana is known as Tigerland at Fort Polk. That's where most of the guys that went to Vietnam, they went to Fort Polk first.
Right. Okay. Yeah,
But
you're right. Yeah.
that's all I can think of is that.
Hey, Lori.
Yeah.
That hurricane. I mean, well, why did I say a hurricane? That tornado. The debris signature looks like the eye of a hurricane. It's getting bigger.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say too that the hurricane season this year is gonna be very interesting.
Off the charts.
Everybody's talking about Florida, and I don't know. They don't like Florida too much, and that could get real dangerous.
I wouldn't doubt if we start seeing it picking up soon. I don't think it's even going to wait until normal hurricane season.
Not at all, because I think that water's very warm.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Ryan Hall had to start early today because of the stuff started occurring already.
Wait, I'm sorry. What was that?
Ryan Hall had to start early.
Oh wow. Well, you know, we haven't had a break in the tornadoes. I mean, we saw these tornadoes all through winter.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
There's been tornadoes happening every single day this month thus far, from what I remember.
Are the
But
tornadoes
ever
kind of
since the
around
eclipse, it
Yeah,
seems
I'm
like
about
it's
to
getting
say,
worse.
is it by the eclipse area? All these
Yeah.
tornadoes?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. It is.
I mean, and then you got May, ever since May Day,
Right.
and then when does the let me think. I was thinking about the satanic holidays. Which one's next?
Well, we just did Beltane. And the next one is, give me a second. I think I saved them. Hold on. Let me look them up. Satanic. Let me look. They are. Hold on, guys. Oh, come on. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. I thought I lost you. All right, hold on. Oh. Okay, I got it. Nope, that's not it either. They keep moving. Oh, there it is. Nope, that's not it either. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Is this one it? Okay. Okay, so we had May Day. Why isn't it showing me? It's not letting me get past May.
I know they got to have something happen in May.
Yeah, they do. I just have to find it. You know what? Hold on a minute. I'm gonna have to get off of. Let me get on to DuckDuckGo. Satanic holy days. Okay, let's do it this way. They've hit it over on. Here we go. Got it. Come on. There we go. July 25th is unveiling day, but I think they've got, what is it? The Great Climax coming next, I believe. I don't know why it's not letting me.
What have they had since May Day? Any kind of big casualty event? Well, they have the month of May.
Okay. June 21st is the next one. That's going to be the equinox.
Equinox. Okay, so they got to have something. They have to have their blood sacrificed between.
And I believe that is. hold on a second. I believe that's the Great Climax. Great. What date is that?
Did you just hear that?
What?
Debris was slung up 20,000 feet in the air from that tornado.
Oh, wow. July 27th. So between now and then, what they'll do is they're going to start gathering their victims for the Great Climax. That's the next one. That's what I thought it was. We believe they were done on the 22nd, but again, we don't know because it wasn't going to be televised. It wasn't, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I really think if like you said, like everything's different now. I mean, obviously the country's being run like a clown show. I mean, it's just obvious that the guy. But it's like I said, they're just doing it to laugh at us, or they're just going business as usual. But everything is it's already just sit and play. I'm gonna tell you what. I wish I could get. I bet Alberino's got something, but somebody has the Incan calendar for this for North America, because they're the ones that named it Amarahuka. Like they know this land is but I know they got a calendar. I like to see that I know they got it.
I would too.
Pisario talked about it. He was very, because Pisario would always, because he heard from them about, he goes, they discovered, the Spanish Inquisition was obviously in South and North American continents, but Pisario knew that what they were talking about, because they had, already sent people to the North America.
Right.
But to think of people from Cusco, Peru, knew so much about the American continent and named it the land of the plumed serpent. And there are serpent mounds here. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And stories of giants, and just we talk about it over and over and over again. But I like to see that because if they develop the Kipu system, with the rope and the rocks and everything, they knew what was going on up here. But I love to see one of their calendars.
Exactly. I did find the calendar for this. So June 21st again. Okay, so we had May Day. We just talked about that. June 21st is next, the summer solstice. That is going to be another one. After that, we have June 24th, which is, it's interesting enough, they call it the Feast of St. John the Baptist, but that is another one of their days. July 1st, Demon's Revel is another one. And then from July 20th to 26th, that's when the abductions start for Grand Climax. And Grand Climax is on July 27th, and that is the same day that Bohemian Grove has their cremation ceremony.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Oh, you see the screen?
Yeah, folks, yeah. Brutal assassination attempt was just carried out on the, wait, what? Hold on. Let me see if I can get some information. I'm not seeing anything. Can you tell me what your source was for that? Oh, never mind. I got it. Found it. me pull it up. There we go. Arab sources are reporting an assassination attempt against Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Wow. Did you hear about that, John?
No, I just remember the one in Las Vegas.
Right. Yeah. I think that was the same family.
Yeah, it was him. Yeah, he was in Mandalay Bay on the top floors.
Yep. Interesting. Wow. Okay. All right, guys. I think we're going to end it for tonight. Anything else you guys want to say?
Keep your eyes to the skies. Keep your hearts on God. Make sure your houses are in order.
Amen. John?
Okay, Jesus was not Toth, and he did not write the Emerald Tablets.
Right.
Um,
Isn't it crazy we've even got to say that?
Oh yeah, because oh my gosh, my FYP.
Yeah, it's crazy that we've even got to say that to people. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's all over at my FYP about Jesus is Toth or Toady or whatever. I don't know what the bird man head.
Thoth.
What in the world?
Yes, it's all over mine too.
I don't watch. I haven't been on TikTok much, so I'm glad I'm not.
Over TikTok, yes. Talking that Jesus wrote the Emerald Tablets and all this. I mean, and you've got people like Billy. What's his name?
Billy Carson. He's the one. But they're all pushing what he's saying.
Yeah, they're all over. I mean, literally, like interview after interview after interview. It's crazy over there. But the fact that
basically,
say that.
I made a YouTube video and I talked about it on my YouTube, and I said, basically they're saying that Jesus went to the three places coincidentally that had the cities before Adam, Egypt and Tibet and then India, and Jesus learned all of his magical powers. He learned all the ancient mystery religions. So he was a Freemason, they're saying, in Egypt. He went to Tibet and learned about the chakras and taught you about your butthole chakra, which is true, by the way. There's one in your butt, apparently. And then he went to India and learned how to speak, to sway the masses. That's exactly what they say.
Wow.
And, but yeah, so that's what I've been seeing, and then some other guy popped up, which I've never seen before. I don't know how he pops up on mine, but he's got this fancy, TikTok where he can like show things behind him, green screen or whatever, how it works. But he's talking about how God's wrath and God has a wife and same old, blah, blah agenda they all talk about.
Yep.
And
Mary Magdalene.
Oh, yeah. Oh gosh. And at my YouTube video, I always talk about, you'll hear my opinion on that too. But and y'all know it, but everybody else didn't know what I really said about it. But yeah, so it's all that crap, but it's being pushed because everybody's all pushing the same thing, that they're just discrediting him, and they're saying that he's, basically an Egyptian god, and, pushing the narrative of that. But yeah,
are people going to be in for a surprise?
Well, 100%, because you got to see the comments about, especially when it goes along with, deconstructive Christianity, and the church is all, and we see what's going on in the churches now.
Yeah.
You got murder mysteries, all this other crap, but that's just to get, it's like it's judgment starts in the house of God, according to James, and is just, it's going along with exactly, how it's supposed to happen.
Yep.
But I would just say it's just in your face, and don't believe that. However trickery they use to bring Jesus down with the sons of Horus, joining him and then speaking to everybody, just don't buy it. And number two, don't listen to Davey play the violin, peek over the wall of the Alamo, because that's really going on.
All right.
And then number three is, of course, Jesus is real. Anybody who tells you that discredits him, I've never heard a true conversion where he even explained any of that crap. about if he did learn in Egypt, or he never said nothing to me. He told me, do what you want, John, but when somebody cries out for you, puts you in the altar, I show up, and he said nothing else but that. Didn't force me to do anything. So when somebody gets on a platform and says that, Jesus is evil and he just, tricks you and he really did this, he's a Freemason, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard none of that stuff. Even for people that I've encountered in my journey that had conversions, I'm not special, but he never told me nothing like that. He just said, I'm going to basically put a foot in your ass if you want to go that route.
The sad part right now is we're seeing these false conversions. I mean, look at Russell Brand. Russell Brand said, I'm going to be baptized tomorrow. And the next day he comes on, he's talking about tarot cards.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, it's this new age stuff that like Jesus is cool, but it's always related to, it's always the same damn agenda of these freaking Anunnaki. And it's just, you know what? I'll call out Billy Carson straight up, man. If Toth and you're so smart, and you're a scholar and you've been around the world, blah blah blah. Why do you want my fake American money? Right. So I can go see where Jesus slept at in Egypt. Right. You know what I mean? If you're so smart, why do you want a fake Egyptian esoteric money system that America provides me? You know what I mean? Right. Why do you want that? If you're so smart and Toth is so smart and the Bible was what he wrote 400,000 years before, King James put it together, then, where the hell are these Anunnaki at? Why aren't they in my living room? Oh, I know why, because you told me that Jesus is fake and his name's not real. Well, that's funny, because when I say his name, these little asshole entities don't bother me anymore. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It's weird. It's funny. Out of all the UFO abductee stories I've read like 428 of them. When you say the name of Jesus, and they always tell me, well, that name's fake. Those little asshole grays put you back in your bed. Isn't that weird?
Isn't that weird?
Isn't that weird, right? It's like, well, Jesus is fake. It's not a real name. Da da da. It's like, that's weird. The little entities in your living room making you cry and make people think that you're crazy. I tell them the same. Larger entities with black masks and red eyes. I've encountered them with my conversion, and let me tell you, they didn't say Jesus. They told me to renounce my Savior because they can't say that name. Isn't that odd? That the English language entity can't say the name. It's like it's so funny to me that they get on here and talk about how smart the Anunnaki are, but the little buttholes don't come anywhere around people that truly believe that the words of an apostle. I just find that funny.
Yeah, I do.
They don't go mess with Paul. That right. Legion told him. Legion said, "We know Paul. We know Jesus. We don't know you."
Right.
Isn't that weird?
Exactly.
Oh, Paul. But anyhow, that's my little.
John. Preach it, John. That's right. All right, we do have another emergency in Oklahoma. So I'm going to put the link over for you guys to go on over and watch for Ryan Hall, y'all. We're going to end this for tonight, but we will be back. I don't know if we'll be back on Wednesday, but we will be back. So, thanks, John.
Just let me know. You're all welcome. Appreciate it. Y'all be careful.
You too. All right. I did put the link in the chat room for you guys to go over and watch Ryan Hall, y'all. Y'all stay safe out there. Until next time, remember, eyes open, no fear.